Scion is just one of those unique places where there really are very few forums like this. And as we speak, I think one of the reasons it's lasted so long and really resonates with first responders, but really anybody who participates, is it is a format that kind of helps us bypass our normal defenses, where when we talk about this, we talk about like what it would be like. And, if I had just met Rob, or we had met and I went up to him and said, "Hi, would you like to talk with me about your deepest fears and insecurities?" And hopefully you can all see him shaking his head. No one wants to do that. Or it's 2024. So sometimes people do want to do that on TikTok or something like that. But in general, people do not want to do that. And particularly first responders, right? The idea is to keep that behind a wall. Don't show feelings. Don't show, heaven forbid, anything remotely close to weakness. And so this is just a wonderful format to be able to accidentally, on purpose, bypass those initial defenses and connect in ways that just wouldn't be possible without this storytelling and a format that makes it safe. So as we have this discussion and Rob's able to, again, tell his story, multiple stories about his journey and what will be helpful to share, there's just some things up here that help us think about the themes and what can we take away. Everybody's going to take away something different, but I think the major theme to really think about is this is a way to speak the unspeakable. And I'm really appreciating, Rob, when we had our conversation prior to starting, I think one of the first things you said was nothing's off limits. And I think that's another thing that makes this so powerful. We are not here to sugarcoat, right, or kind of whitewash or downplay anything that happens. This really is a spot where everything is on the table. We also are not here to sensationalize, but really be able to connect and relate to each other and how we can offer support. So speaking the unspeakable, giving words to those things that really stay with us is just such a powerful piece. And I'm not going to go through and read the whole slide, but just highlighting too, I think one thing that really resonates with your story, as you've talked about it before and what you'll talk about today, is that there is a pathway, right? It's not, I have these things happen that are outside of my control that forever change me, right? And forever change my course. But I can't go back to maybe who I was before all of these things happen, but there is a pathway through this. And there's a pathway that continues throughout your life and your journey. It doesn't have to stop with trauma and even life-altering trauma. And the other thing that I think is just so important that I want to highlight from this slide is it always involves an element of choice. And again, when we were talking earlier about some of your experiences and just who you meet on calls and life circumstances that quite frankly are super shitty, right? Lots of really awful things happen. And there is still an element of choice about how to handle things, what to do with the impact, what to do with those things that come that often we don't have any control over. So I wanted to highlight that. You were talking about, and we'll talk about just some of the dangers of just keeping it completely closed off, right? Of just, I don't even want to go there, which is understandable, but some of the pitfalls of that. And I think we can just go to the next one and briefly hit that and then get to why we're all really here. Tethers to normal, right? I think very understandable impulse to, I'm just going to shut down. Not only am I going to wall off painful emotions or memories or experiences, is that if I let that wall down to try to experience something nice, it's just going to come tumbling down. So this very, again, understandable impulse of, I'm just numb now, or I'm just this shadow, and it does not have to be that way at all. And that I was trying to figure out how to put this in words that really resonated from some of the things that you said previously, is maybe not to get so fixated on a specific outcome. Like realizing there are going to be calls that do not go the way we want them to go. There are people that you can't save, or people that no one could save, not only a specific person, things that have happened, but really thinking about flexibility and what is my role here, what looks like a success or not, or a failure, and how do I go on that pathway? And so having some flexibility with that, that allows everything to kind of come in, including being able to talk with others and both give and receive help. So I think those are some of the themes that we'll be able to touch on today.
So